what's up everybody? Welcome back to our channel. Hey, if you're new here, please click that like, that subscribe, and don't forget to bang that bell notification. This way you get notified every time I upload a video. Well, today's video is brought to you by the one and only Advanblack. That's right, known for their color match parts for Harley Davidson and Indian motorcycles. Check this out. All right, these are Advanblack. These are Advanblack. The bags, the side covers, Advanblack. I got the hand guards on my Roadglide from Advanblack. Their paint match for the Envious Green Fade. They do a great job. But did you know Advanblack has more parts than body parts? Check this out. Look at that wheel. Yep, this is from Advanblack, and it's going to replace the stock wheel here on my CVO Roadglide. That's right, I said it, it's a CVO. I'm under contract with Harley Davidson. Tell everybody every time it's a CVO. No, it's a joke, it's a joke. Don't get upset, it's a joke. All right, guys, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through removing the front wheel, changing over the tire. Well, we also have to change over the Schrader valve and valve stem, because this has a tire pressure monitoring. That has to get changed over. So without any further ado, let's get on with the show. All right, so what's the first thing we need to do? Well, we need to remove our fender. You don't have to remove a fender. You could jack the whole bike up to get the tire out from under the fender. I like removing the fender. That's the way I like to do it, and that's my technique. Second thing we're gonna do is remove both brake calipers, and those are a 12.10 millimeter. The fender is a 1/4 inch Allen socket right here. So like I always do, I always loosen them up by hand, because you never know what corrosion happens. Whoop, it's over there now. While working on the bike, so with the nuts and bolts, so you want to keep that stuff kind of clean. Now I've already jacked up the bike, got the tire barely touching the lift, so that's important that you jack the bike up before removing your tires. And like I said, I'm just loosening up everything. The fender's loose. Now I'm going to loosen up my brake calipers. Yeah. Oh, before I forget, at the time of recording this video, it is Dallas Facemalt's birthday. So if you're watching this, it's a week after his birthday. It's his legit birthday, guys. No BS. It's his birthday. So, hey, Dally, happy birthday, my brother. Good. I'm happy for you. Looking forward to many more years. This nut is a 15/16. Yes, I'm using the wrench method, double wrench. We will be using a torque wrench to torque this down, and I will get the torque specs for everything for all you guys. So now that that's loose, on the other side there's a pinch bolt on the bottom of your fork. That is a 6 millimeter. And all we have to do is loosen this up. All right, so that's nice and loose. So now we can pull the axle out. But before we get real ahead of ourselves and crazy, I'm gonna pull this off. Oh yeah, the thing I did before was I pulled the axle cap off. You guys really don't need to see that. So let me grab my happy little gun. Yeah, I said it, happy little gun. Gonna make this job a lot easier, starting with the fender. And keeping your bolts always with you, and holding onto your fender, because it's going to drop here in a second onto the tire. So now that that's all removed, bolts are down there. Roll your fender up and out of the way. Put it someplace safe where you're not going to trip over it, knock it over, scratch it, dent it. Okay. In my case, the other lift. All right, fender's off. Now we're going to do the brake calipers. And it's so much easier to get these brake calipers off with the fender removed. Trust me on this. All right, so this one's just going to hang here because I have to get the ABS sensor out of the way, and I can't do that until I remove the axle. But the other side, I'm going to just lift up out of the way and rest that on the brake pedal. All right, so now that that's all done, let's see. I shouldn't have an issue. Nope. There we go. Just a little love tap and it pops right out. Bingo. So that, the axle is removed without an issue. Okay, remember talking about that ABS sensor? Bam, there it is. And here's the other side spacer. It's kind of disgusting, so we're going to clean this up, make it nice and shiny black again before we reinstall it, because that's just what I like to do. But now that this brake caliper is free, I'm going to just pick that up and rest that up on the shifter peg. This way it's not pulling on the brake lines, it's not pulling on anything it doesn't need to pull on. Brake lines, ABS wire, in my case the LED light. So what's next? Well, we're going to take this over to the tire machine and we're going to strip this tire down. When I mean strip it down, we're reusing our brake rotors. I do have to get new bolts for this, but I will reuse these until I get to the Harley to pick up new bolts. I'm going to need 10 of them. I'm not reusing my bearings. The wheel comes with bearings. And the tire, there it is. Right here, we're reusing this. And this is actually an Allen head on the inside of the rim, so I got to strip the tire off. I am not reusing this tire. There's still plenty of tread left on this, but it's a new wheel. I don't like reusing tires, so I bought a new tire, and we're going to put the new tire on. And it's a Dunlop American Elite. This way it matches the back. All right, let me get this over to the tire machine and strip down, and we'll show you what we're doing. All right, gang, so I got the tires stripped down. I got the rotors stripped down. Now, it's important when you remove your rotors to mark them which side came off the left, which side came off the right. And what I do is I just take a Sharpie and I write L for left, R for right, and I put them aside. But I'll clean that grease marker off with some isopropyl alcohol when I'm done. So to remove my tire pressure monitoring system for the front tire, it's a T15 and it's right here. So we're going to take this thing off, and there's not a whole lot of torque to this. And you got to be careful because you don't want to break these, but at the same time these are a lot easier to remove than the old style, the pull-through rubber ones. If you don't remember those, I'll show you on the new wheel because there's already one installed on that. So let me get this off and we'll continue on. What's nice is if you see here, there's these little plastic pieces here. This protects your rim from the tire machine, which is a nice thing. But here's that rubber valve stem I was telling you about. And the only way to get this out is I'm going to spray some soapy water here. And then we're going to pull it through with the tire tool that every tire shop should have. And I'm going to reposition the camera so you can see that actually happening, so you can actually see what a pain in the neck pulling these things out are. So there, I sprayed it down with some soapy water. That should help me pull this thing through. Okay, it's important that you know which side is the ABS bearing and the other one. I forgot to mention that. The all metal side is the non-ABS bearing. So if you have ABS, you have to be aware of what side is your bearing, because if not, then you're taking it all apart, flipping it over, and doing it all over again. That's right, and nobody wants that. So this is a valve stem core tool. So what I'm doing is I'm just going to try and pull it straight through. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. The best way I found is when you pull on it, you want to get down in here with a pair of diagonal cutters and then snip it. So you're pulling it past this metal core part, and then you could just pull the rest of it out just like that. Unfortunately, even though this was a good valve stem, it's not good anymore, and it's going to go in the garbage. So now back to reinstalling our tire pressure monitoring valve stem. So we're going to put that in just like that. There is a rubber O-ring right here, guys, just so you know. Put that in, line up the bottom, and then we're just going to snug this up. And again, it's a T15. So big shout out to Alan from Advanblack and the rest of his team. Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. You guys are awesome. You have some amazing parts. I love working with you guys, and I love your parts. So when you have these 90 degrees, you want to make sure that they're somewhat 90, straight where you want them. They do make a tool for the other ones that you put them on and just pop them right off, and then they usually break anyways. I just don't like spending money on tools that I don't need. All right, so snuggy, snuggy, snuggy. All right, so let me show you what the TPMS tire pressure monitoring system looks like. Again, on the bike, and then I'll mount this tire and the rotors, and we'll mount the wheel together. Okay, this is what the tire pressure monitoring system looks like installed on your wheel. Pretty cool, but one of the things you have to watch for when mounting your wheel, especially the second bead, is that the first bead doesn't break this. I've had that happen to me once. Don't want it to happen to me again. So I'll take the top one off. Now always remember the rotation of your tire, which way it goes, and boom, done. So let me get this tire mounted, I'll get the rotors mounted, and then we'll get back together on the bike. Yep. All right, guys, so the tire's mounted, the rotors are mounted. I cleaned the axle. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put a light coat, very light coat of anti-seize. You don't need to put a whole lot. You just need to put a very little. And I'll show you how to do it. So I basically glop it on one side, just like that. Then I take a paper towel, and anti-seize, if it gets on you, it'll be all over you. So be careful with it. And all I do is I take the towel and I wipe the whole axle with it. Do this every time you remove your axle. Do not, and I repeat, do not reinstall your axle with the old anti-seize on it. And that's a very thin light coat. So now we're going to install the axle and into the wheel. I did clean up that spacer. Spacer goes in with the axle. Now I need to take my ABS sensor, which is zip tied and attached to the brake caliper. Put this in. I did clean up that too. Everything's been cleaned and inspected. That's important. So, okay, now I got to come up because the tire was worn, so the bike is a little lower. So let's come up just a little bit. There we go. there we go. The axle is in, just like that. Now I'm going to start the nut for the ABS sensor, or the front axle. I'm not going to tighten it down yet. I'm just getting it started. I do want to pick this up a little bit so I can rotate the tire. There we go. We should be able to rotate this tire right now. Yes, look at that. All right. I'm going to mount my front brake caliper on the right side. Now, if you're confused which side is right, it's your throttle side. But you guys know that. That one's mounted. Now we're going to do the clutch side, which is your left side. Oops, sorry. Kick the camera, the tripod. All right, so this here will come in. While we're here, brake pads look good. You got them off, might as well look at them. And yes, I could collapse these. I really don't want to, because if I do, and I have that issue with the rear brake caliper coming off. So let's see, I got to get this right, because this came off. No, let's see, it goes this away. There we go. We got that right, because that is the wire keep for the ABS sensor. That's why I don't tighten that axle yet, because I want to get that ABS sensor without any stress on it. All right, so we take our 10mm 12-point socket, and now we're just going to tighten this side up. The paint I put on these bolts has come off. I'm going to do the other side. Nice and nice. Boy, that's so pretty. I like that wheel. I really love this wheel. It looks good. What do you guys think? Do you think it looks good? So if you're curious, the bike you hear in the background, that's Tito. He stopped in to say hello. And he's on his way. He dropped me off a little bit of unflavored, clear moonshine. That I'm going to make some creamsicle moonshine. Now, I am tightening the brake calipers. You got it. All right. So there you have it. Now, going to snug up the axle. That's, well, I'm going to back it off because I got to rotate the axle, because it needs to be rotated just a little. And it's all because where the set screw is on the axle nut on the other side. All right, so that's snug. Now I'm going to tighten up the pinch bolt on the right side. All right, there we go. That's good and tight. Like they say in Germany, good and tight. Now, 75 foot-pounds, but I don't go to that. I just go with the feel with the wrenches. This is just my technique. And that's good. Woo-wee. So, let me, we're going to do the fender next. And believe it or not, we're almost done. Almost done! Now we get a good look at what this is going to look like. So if you guys are in the market for a nice wheel for your bike, head over to Advanblack's website. And as a matter of fact, I will link the direct site or webpage for their wheels down below in the description. This way you don't miss out, or you could easily find it if you wanted one of these wheels for yourself. And if you order anything from Advanblack, do me a favor, let them know Dr. Harley sent you. This bike will be in Daytona, so if you want to see it in person, you're more than welcome to. It will be at the Advanblack booth, probably both Saturdays. I still got to talk to Alan about that. I'm sure he would be more than welcoming with that. Ooh-wee. Now I put the wrench on, make sure we're good and tight on the fender. Well, that looks so good. Looks so good. I like it. What do you guys think? Big improvement or not? I think it's a huge improvement over the spoke wheel. Now, to tie it all in, I'm going to put my axle cap back on. Oh, there, it's over there now. Tighten it up. I would give you the size to this, guys, but all axle caps are different. But if you're curious, this is a 1/8 Allen. And that's it. I think that looks great. What do you guys think? All right, guys, that's it for this video. Hey, if you made it this far and you like this video, you like to see more content like this, please give me that like, that subscribe, and don't forget to bang that bell notification. This way you get notified every time I upload a video. Until the next time, I want you to live the best life you can. Ride often and always ride hard.
Like and subscribe.